You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Glad you could join me here for part 2 of our Cabral House Calls. Yesterday, we went through a bunch of our community's questions. Always love seeing those come in each and every week. And honestly, the variety of topics is amazing. So it's every single week. I never get a chance to really prep for the questions, which is what I like. I like it to be raw. I like it to be unedited and really just see, okay, what's this question? What is this person asking? How can I help them to the best of my ability? Just drawing upon 20 years and working with thousands and thousands of people. So that's what I do. I really enjoy these shows. I honestly feel like it's one of my favorite parts of podcasting is having all these questions come in, knowing that people are looking for a place to get started. They're not looking for me to diagnose them or treat them or cure any disease, at least I hope not, is that we are looking to give people that first place. Remember, every dis-ease that you suffer from, it does not need a pharmaceutical drug in order to fix it, because we know that those drugs don't necessarily fix the disease. What they do is they fix the symptoms, right? That you're feeling that we call a disease. So if you have high cholesterol and you didn't have high cholesterol at 16, why do you have it now at 46? If you have Hashimoto's now, why didn't you have it at 11 years old? If you have rheumatoid arthritis or sarcoidosis or any number of disease, why didn't you have it when you were a child or teenager? Why do you have it now in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, etc.? So our job is to work backwards. Our job is to figure out what went on in the body, what manifestations took place that the body is now compensating in such a way that you feel these inflammatory-based conditions that we label as a set of symptoms. We call it disease, right? That's what it is. Okay, you have rheumatoid arthritis, so your joints are being attacked by your own immune system. Well, why is your immune system doing that now when it wasn't 20 years ago? Or your immune system is attacking your thyroid, or the myelin sheath surrounding your nervous system, or you have migraines. Why is this happening now? Oftentimes, it's a slow progression leading to dis-ease, meaning it starts with fatigue and a little bit of brain fog and being run down and not feeling rejuvenated when you wake up in the morning and needing more caffeine, a little slow weight gain. All of these things start to add up. Now, we don't consider any of those things I just mentioned to be diseases, right? But they are the beginning stages, right? So I did a podcast I would love you to check out. It was on the 6 phases of disease, and it's from a bioregulatory perspective. Now, Ayurveda has the same perspective, 6 phases of disease. The first 4, conventional medicine doesn't catch. The last 2, they do. When it's diagnosable and eventually when it becomes terminable, and we don't want anybody to get there. So what I want you to do is just, again, keep your mind open. The people that you talk with, if you're a health coach listening to this, if you're a practitioner, just get them to open their mind. That's it. That's all that you need. Because we don't need to fix anyone tomorrow. What we need to do, though, is give them hope. Let them understand someone just like you, exactly like you, with your same symptoms, has gotten well. Why can't you? Someone just like you lost the weight. Why can't you? So we just have to be able to let people know that they're not an anomaly. We all think that we are. I thought that I was, of course, as well. But that there are answers for us. Sometimes the answers aren't so simple. I was just speaking at a conference last week in Boulder, and I had a doctor. He's another doctor. He's a functional medicine doctor. Again, I don't even know what that means anymore, but he's a functional medicine doctor. And he asked me, so, you had Addison's disease, you had rheumatoid arthritis, you had type 2 diabetes, you had all these different things. What did you do to get well? What was that thing? And I said, in the last half of my book, I go through the de-stress protocol. And he said, I know. He's like, I have my own protocols though. And I said, okay. I'm like, but there's no one thing, meaning that I can't tell you to take ashwagandha and you're going to be healed of your adrenal issues. right? And you have to work on your gut issues. It's like, okay, well, if you could have done one thing, what would it have been? I said, I understand and I appreciate where you're coming from because you want to help your patients to the best of your ability. But I think you're missing the point. There is no one thing. There's no one thing. There's working on your diet and exercise and stress reduction, toxin removal, your rest, your emotional balance, your supplements, and your success mindset. I didn't come up with that by accident. It took all of those. Now, I was already doing pretty well on nutrition. I was doing pretty well on exercise, but I wasn't doing so well on toxin removal. I wasn't doing so well on emotional balance. So meaning like there are lots of things that we need to tweak and we need to work on, but there is no one thing. And that's why natural medicine is very different than conventional medicine. When you have high cholesterol, you get a statin drug for the most part. If you come in with high cholesterol, we don't treat high cholesterol. We look at what else is going on in the body, causing inflammation, or some type of trigger that the body might be producing endogenously its own cholesterol because 80% is caused in the liver or produced in the liver. Or why isn't your body able to break down and excrete and remove cholesterol from your diet? So we look at all of these specific things. And again, I'm oversimplifying it right now, but I'm getting away from today's theme, which is answering our community's questions. So I will continue that rant on another day. So let's get into our first question today. It's from Tatyana. She writes in, "Hi, Dr. Ball. I'm a 37-year-old female, and I used to be very athletic, doing boot camp almost daily. I recently had to quit because I noticed crunching noises when I would walk up the stairs. I have some knee pain. Xrays showed nothing, but I was told I may have a mild case of arthritis due to intense workouts. I'm devastated. I'm too young to have arthritis. I'm now doing yoga. Can I get rid of arthritis? Is yoga okay? Any recommendations to get rid of the pain? I don't want to start taking in vacations. Help. Thank you." Okay. So Tatyana, we work with a lot of people in our practice for many, many years who have the beginning of arthritis in the knee. And if we're talking about osteoarthritis, what we're really talking about is, I'm not going to get too deep on this. You basically have you have a bone at the top of your leg in your thigh, and you have two bones in the lower leg. Now, both of those bones at the very ends of them have this coating to them. It's almost like a plastic, but it's not. It's called the articular cartilage. So that provides buffer. Well, it can start to wear away over time with improper alignment and hard workouts. So hard workouts don't always do it, but certainly abrasion and improper alignment. So the best thing that you can do is work with a really qualified personal trainer or someone else to get your body back into alignment. So work on your hamstrings, because most times in boot camps, there's quad dominant, it's called knee dominant exercises, a lot of squats, things like that, but you miss the Romanian deadlifts. You miss all the things that start to work on your hamstrings and glutes. So I'd work on that, work on your bridging, all those different types of things. Yoga, for the most part, can be absolutely fantastic. So I would definitely get into yoga for sure, but I'd work on it for both angles. Again, I can't tell you exactly what's best for you, but you can certainly have a really good assessment done by a functional range conditioning specialist, by a National Academy of Sports Medicine personal trainer, and they'll be able to really assess the weaknesses in the body, begin to bring up those imbalances, and I think you're going to be feeling a lot better. Now, you probably won't want to start getting back into exercises that could damage the knee if there is early osteoarthritis, like long distance running. But I mean, doing some squats, deadlifts, lunges, step ups, that's not going to be an issue. I mean, it should. I can't tell you that for sure, but those are things that we have to do in normal life. So you should be able to get back into those. Okay, DB is up next. Once a year, I try to go on vacation as a family to places like Mexico, Las Vegas, etc. And I feel like that could be money better spent elsewhere, as I feel like those trips take a lot of toll on our health after all the terrible eating and drinking. My question is, can you recommend a vacation spot where you can have fun and be healthy? I looked up some healthy retreats, and they were very much too expensive. Thank you. Appreciate all you do. All right. I'm assuming the initials are DB. I'm happy to help with this one. And this is a really great question. I've never gotten it before. So you're right. I mean, there's a lot of yoga retreat centers. There's a lot of juicing-based retreat centers. There's a lot of, those types of retreat centers. And they can be absolutely fantastic, but they can be very expensive. So it could be $500 a day. It could be more. So here's the thing, though. This is something that you absolutely can do. You could go to Tulum in Mexico, and you could stay at a lower, like not like a super high-end resort there. And you could do yoga every day for $10 a class. And then you could go to one of the many plant-based restaurants there. Or you could do your own kind of juice-based fasting there, meaning like maybe you do juicing during the day and a plant-based dinner. I mean, there's so many things. You can make up your own little retreat, and it could be absolutely fantastic. And then, I mean, you could do massages there for like $35 in Tulum. Again, you can do the yoga there for $10 a class. You just take bikes everywhere. You can just walk. When my wife and I went there, it was our first trip alone without the kids, and we just went for 4 days, and it was unbelievable. It was about maybe a 4-hour flight from Boston, beautiful weather. And then when you're not doing your yoga or your massage or anything that you're doing, I mean, they have like mud baths there. They have sweat lodges there. You could actually just go to the beach and you could swim. So you can make it a really health-based vacation if you wanted to, or you could go there, you could do a functional medicine detox, and you still do the yoga, you still do all that, and then you have plant-based meals for your lunch and for your dinner. You could turn any vacation into that. I think it's a really great idea, and I would love to see more people start doing that. So, really great question. I mean, the thing is, if you're going somewhere during the colder weather, go south, right? Go to Tulum, Mexico, or go, just go anywhere that you feel is warm and you find a place like that isn't as expensive. So another thing, though, is if it's in the summer months, or it's in the early fall, you can go to Vermont. I mean, there's beautiful places in Vermont that aren't expensive. You go hiking. Again, you get your green juices. You could do your plant-based meals. You could do yoga there. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, you could find so many great spaces to be able to do that. So hopefully that's helpful. Chris is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I was wondering your thoughts on Monolaurin as an antimicrobial and antiviral solution. I have Klebsiella, HPV, Candida albicans, and would like to know if this is a good recommendation. Okay. If so, at what dosage, length of protocol, and any particular brand? Thank you for all your good work. You are appreciated more than you'll ever know. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. So here's the thing. What we do to rebalance the gut, and you kind of mentioned some of those, but what we do is we do our CBO protocol. And our CBO protocol contains all of the herbs that you need. So here's the thing. You can actually do lab tests and it says, oh, your gut bacteria or candida respond best to oregano oil or grapefruit seed extract or monolaurin, or like there's so many different ones, uva ursi. But here's the thing. I've always found the best approach to be a synergistic one, meaning that if we're using some oregano oil and some clove and some thyme and some rosemary and some monolaurin, fantastic. So the difference with monolaurin is that it actually works really well for viruses. So monolaurin, now, not a lot of people talk about this too much, but the way that you get viruses to stop replicating, one of the ways that I was able to do this with my Epstein-Barr virus, and again, I'm not here to tell you how to cure disease. That's not what a podcast is all about. So again, that's not what I'm saying, but you have to understand how the body works. First, you need to stop it from being so stressed. Gut-based stress, stress from life, over-exercising, et cetera, et cetera. Then you need to help your body to boost your immune system. Vitamin C, zinc, et cetera, et cetera. I've talked about those before. But then you need to destroy the virus. And one of the best ways to get it to stop replicating is to actually destroy the lipid membrane of the virus itself. And you can do that with things like, well, I have a whole podcast on it. So my whole podcast, it's how to destroy a virus. So check that out at stephencabral.com/podcast. But monolaurin is very good at that. You can get it by taking 3 tablespoons of coconut oil a day, 2 to 3 tablespoons. Okay, so that's one way. Another way is actually taking monolaurin, the nutritional supplement. Our new CBO protocol for 2020, I only made a couple edits to it. And one is I didn't take anything away, but I actually added monolaurin in month 3 because so many people are still dealing with like the remnants of viruses and things like that. So anyway, I'm excited for it. I'm always looking to upgrade. So L-lysine, monolaurin, colloidal silver are all really excellent for viral-based protocols. So thank you, Chris. I would check out the CBO protocol, and hopefully that was beneficial. All right, Adriane is up next. Adrianne. Adrienne, maybe it's Adrienne. Hi, Dr. Ball. I have a mystery that Google can't seem to answer. When I cry, it causes me to suffer for 24 to 48 hours. This has always been the case since I was a young child. The symptoms are as follows. Immediate symptoms: puffy, swollen eyelids that appear to be filled with liquid and sagging over my eyes. The bags under my eyes are also completely filled with liquid. My sinuses swell up, and it gets the sniffles delayed and long-lasting. Headaches in the bone of my face, tension in my shoulders, severe brain fog. Even after my sinuses clear up, the eyelids and bags under my eyes are still bulgy. The next day, it feels like I'm hungover, but without the alcohol, and it lasts all day, even after I let it go. forgive and make peace with whatever triggered it. The crying basically disfigures my face, and I don't know how to get the fluid out. I don't know how to make the pain in my head stop. Simple remedies I use with limited success are hot showers. I knew this was going to be it. I always have my hunches, but I want people to talk about it completely. Nasal sprays. I know how to answer this. Okay. So I know it's a mystery illness, but I'm happy to help with this one. Again, I don't ever know if it's going to be your answer, but I don't know if it's intuition. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it's simply being in practice for 20 years and seeing thousands of people, but the answer seems simple and it seems readily apparent, if not always, easy. But what I thought about right away is there's a backup in the system. So your face is actually, your sinuses, I want to talk about this in a real natural term. So think of this as you're backlogged. So all of this water is filling up a water balloon, but you're capping off the end. It can't flow back out. So what's happening is the sinuses are not draining, they're filling up. Your lymphatic system, for whatever reason, is not draining from the face. So you have all this pressure, and the pressure most likely is then causing the headaches, the brain fog, the tension in your neck and shoulders. It is not draining out. So that's immediately what I thought. We're missing a drainage factor here. And then you said, oh, but hot showers and tea bags and nasal spray works. Yes, it works because all of those things are vasorelaxants, vasodilators. They calm and relax the system. So I don't know the exact reasons why this is happening. It could be an absolutely severe sympathetic nervous system reaction where the nerves are innervated to a much greater degree from the neck up. And that's causing such constriction of all of the blood vessels and the lymphatic system that it's not draining out through your face and down your neck because that's where your lymph nodes are. So what I want you to do is breathe, relax, calm the vagal nerve. And then I want you to do some slow, gentle massage of the face and also some palpation, light palpation, pushing in, and light massage of the neck, pushing down towards your collarbone very gently and relaxing your body. A warm shower, not cold, but a warm shower will help with this as well. And then I would look to see, is there any mold? Is there any fungal-based issues going on with the sinuses? Is there anything that might be creating extra inflammation there? Because I don't have the exact answer as to why this is happening, but it seems like this is what's causing it to happen. So at least it's a place for you to get started, and that is what I recommend. So thank you very much for writing in. Annette's up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. Kudos for all your great work and wonderful information you share with your audience every single day. I've done the hair tissue mineral analysis and the organic acids test, and I'm on my way to getting better. Thank you for all that. My question is more of a petition that I would like to see an episode dedicated to iridology. During my first visit to a naturopathic doctor, he read my irises and he was in shock how much information he had access to from my past and family conditions. Ever since that first visit, I've followed his indications and noticed that my green eyes turn even greener. I'm vegan, drink plenty of greens and liquid chlorophyll. He says that even if I keep doing his indications, I'll live to 109. Laughing out loud. Jokes aside, doing a search, I found episode 597 in which you briefly said you believe in it, but I'm intrigued to hear an episode dedicated to this practice, which I find fascinating. Only if you agree. Thank you in advance for consideration and many blessings to you and your team. Okay, Annette, appreciate you writing in. And I studied iridology quite in depth. I studied Bernard Jensen and his daughter as well. Actually got to meet, and I apologize that I'm not remembering her name off the top of my head, but I met her, and actually just when I met her, I actually said, I just want you to know that Bernard, Dr. Jensen, was a big inspiration in a lot of the naturopathy and a lot of the bioregulatory medicine that I wrote. And The Chemistry of Man was a great book that I read, and I read all of his books and all of his work. And she was appreciative of that, and she actually said, I have this big course. Oh, her name's Ellen. Yes, I believe her name is Ellen. Ellen Jensen, I believe. So she started talking to me about it, and it looked like a great course. But, I had done my study, and I have many, many books on iridology. So iridology was always a big part of my practice, and I still use it today. Whenever I'm actually looking at anyone, I can't help it, but I look into the irises. For those people who don't know, the iris is the colored part of your eye. The dark part in the middle is called the pupil. So what iridology looks at, though, is from previous trauma or previous illnesses, a part of the eye actually matches up with a part of the body, very much like the meridians of the body, but it manifests itself in the eye. So the only problem with iridology is that you're not going to be able to catch everything. So meaning that the person could have issues and it doesn't show up in their eye. The other thing is they could have issues in the eye that aren't actually manifested in the body. Now, it could be previous trauma. And again, there are differences. When you really start to study iridology in depth, you know that the lighter the color or the white, then it's actually a more recent occurrence. The darker the black, it's been there for a while, and it can actually start to reverse itself. Sometimes it never reverses itself, meaning that it can always be a darker spot there in the eye for your lifetime. So it's one part, right? It's one part of natural medicine. But I would hate to use it as my only method of looking at a person and being able to figure out what may be wrong with them. So I love it and I use it, but it's just not the only form. But I'm definitely not against it. I mean, I very well could do a whole show on it. I love the study of iridology, and I believe it should be used because, again, it's one more modality to look at. So I love it. I'm going to take that into consideration. I very well might do a whole podcast on it. So thanks very much. I want to get into one more question. Aaron's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I've read that bee propolis has antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory properties. Can this be a great natural remedy for the common cold? Would love to hear your thoughts on bee propolis. Aaron, thank you for writing in. I'm a huge fan of bee propolis. Huge fan of all of there's so many. So you talked about antifungal, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. I agree with all of them. There's no doubt about it. And people can do their own research as well. But one of the amazing things about propolis is that it's essentially concentrated honey, meaning that when we look at it, it's a resin. I mean, it's a thick resin and tough to get in a nutritional supplement unless it's propolis by itself because it binds up everything that it touches. And they've been experimenting. This has actually been experimented with wound healing, fighting infections, and a very powerful antioxidant. So I'm a fan of propolis for sure. And it's not the only thing I would use for the common cold, but certainly you could use it through the winter. You could use it with the common cold, and typically it's in capsule form, but you can actually get it mixed with honey by itself. You can get it mixed with royal jelly and honey. So there's a lot of different ways you can get it. It's a little bitter, but again, most things herbal-based are very bitter. That's part of its powerful phenolic compounds. They're very bitter. They're very powerful. And again, in Ayurveda, they always say bitter is better. You get that bitter taste. You know that you're getting that potency, the pungency that's going to work on the body. So Aaron, yes, if you haven't already heard by my voice, I'm a fan. And that's why, again, there's so much healing. There's so much healing natural medicine, and nature has provided us with so many of these great things. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. I appreciate you. I will be back tomorrow with a fresh motivation and mindset Monday with a rested voice after getting back from my trip from Colorado. And again, I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. I'll talk with you tomorrow.
Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.